well and had a beautiful Christmas and holiday season. As we approach a new year, I love to take some time to try to just immerse myself in inspiration and write down any dreams or habits or hopes that I have for the upcoming year. And I wanted to sit down and go over everything with you all. This is an annual video that we do, and it's one of my favorites because I do see so much value in just writing down these aspirations, and even just putting them out into the world I feel like can be really beautiful, so that we can encourage one another and sort of cheer each other on throughout the year. So I'm excited to run through everything with you. First and foremost, I want to read one of my favorite poems by Tess Gunnery. I've read it the past couple of years when I filmed this video, but it really is a tried and true, and I feel like it's so appropriate and fitting for the beginning of the year because it's just filled with so much inspiration and so many different notions and musings that I feel like I always want to encompass and implement into my life. So here it is. Life should be filled with a spirit of adventure, loads of good conversation, and a heart ready to celebrate others. Love your lover, make love under the stars, let your heart feel risk, keep it wild. Follow spontaneity's lead, keep things fresh, and say I love you a million times a day. Share a meal and some rogue with your tribe. Don't be tight-fisted with what's in your hands, be generous. Generous with your words, your creativity, and your love. Live large and heed to your convictions. Don't let the sun set upon anger, and be bold even when you feel like retreating to your safe little cave. Most importantly, have faith and love God with all your heart, mind, and soul. I absolutely love this, and again, I just hope to always have that as inspiration because I feel like that's a beautiful intention to sort of look to as we live our lives. So how I sort of go through everything, I love to make mood boards, which I haven't made one for this year yet, but I definitely plan to. This is my one from last year. It's really sweet. We have lots of colors, coffee, party ideas, and some quotes. I like this miniature size one because you can sort of tuck it away in different spots, your office, your car. It's, you know, nice and miniature, so you can take it on the go if you'd like. So we definitely plan to do that again soon, but I like to just start with writing down some different dreams, and I typically categorize them into 3 different categories, and that is life, work, and personal. This just helps me sort of silo everything, even though some things definitely are transferable and sort of bleed into all aspects of life, but I don't know, it just makes me feel more organized and almost like it's more attainable because it's not just this long list of items. So like I said, some of them are repeats from previous years, but I think that's the beauty, and I personally don't feel like you need to have such extravagant dreams every year. I feel like oftentimes as we try to maintain a beautiful life, you have to do just that. You have to maintain and be intentional with these things time and time again, because a lot of these practices and habits that I hope to keep and build, they need maintenance and they need intentionality every single year. So that's a little overview, but let's just go ahead and dive right in. I do want to say this year, just a little overview of this year. It definitely was one of the most beautiful years of my life, while simultaneously being the most difficult, and definitely I feel like I was at my highest and my lowest. So I absolutely had some growing pains this year, and even though it was so heartbreaking and painful, I still am so grateful to feel a sense of gratitude for it all and just perspective. I feel like that's something I've really focused on the past sort of month as we've been approaching a new year, and I just tend to reflect a bit starting this time of year, and I've just tried to gain perspective and try to sort of count my blessings. Even though I experienced hardship, there was so much growth, so much beauty, so much hope, and so much love that I had never gotten to experience before. So that's a little recap, but let's dive in first and foremost with life. And My big dream for this one has been my dream for the past couple of years, and that is motherhood. I really hope to continue to grow our family. I've in case you didn't know, we experienced a miscarriage earlier this year, and that was really difficult, of course. And something that I haven't really shared about before is something that has really just been a lesson in it all, is trusting in God's timing, because the whole timeline of the motherhood journey and hoping to get pregnant and have our baby was orchestrated by me. I tried to pick when I would give birth, all of this, so that my life would be planned according to everything I had built up in my head. And obviously that did not work out, and that has just been a really, really deep lesson for me to know that I am not in control, first of all, and I need to trust in God's timing. And even though it still doesn't really make sense to me why that timing was not perfect in His eyes, I really do have faith and hope that it will make sense to me one day. And I'm still very much in the thick of it and learning and trying to sort of trust and let go of the control of making everything my way and trying to just orchestrate everything exactly how I want. So I would say that is one of the biggest lessons that has come out of it all, and I'm still working on that. So I am hopeful we will continue to be able to grow our family, and that will come into fruition for us. But again, it has been a difficult journey and has taught me so much. And I think a big thing that this whole process has taught me is to just appreciate life so much more. I mean, every single life and day and human is such a miracle and such a blessing. So that has really given me that perspective, like I said, that I really couldn't have experienced so fully before. So for that, I am grateful. Okay, we just really started with like the big hefty one, but another thing that I really hope to do, which was one thing that I want to carry through from last year, and that is fill our home with more hosting opportunities. And just, I feel like hosting is such a gift, because one, you get to laugh and just have fun with friends and family, but two, I feel like it just fills your home with more memories and love. So I want to continue to do that, and I love to do like themed dinner parties and all of that, and absolutely want to do that some more in 2024. But I also want to prioritize just more casual hangouts, like post-work casual hangouts where you can just talk with your friends and unwind after a long day. So some ideas for that are trivia nights, game nights, doing little bonfires in the backyard, movie nights. So that just seems like a lot more attainable than, you know, putting together this dinner party every so often. So I hope to do that. And then along with that, I want to continue to deepen friendships and community. I'm just so incredibly grateful for our community and friendships. That was another big eye-opening aspect of this year, was just how incredible our community is. I was always thankful for our friends and family, but after going through a hard time and just feeling the outpouring of love, that was just softened me so much. It softened me incredibly much and just inspired me to be a better friend and family member. So definitely want to continue to do that. And then another one, stay rooted in the seasons. This is something we always try to do, especially living in Florida, where there definitely is a lack of obvious seasonal changes. We definitely have some, especially now that I garden. I am much more in tune with the weather changes and whatnot. But yes, I hope to continue to stay rooted in the seasons and do all of our seasonal fun. And speaking of gardening, I would love to continue to grow our garden, continue to learn more about gardening. It's something that I feel like I will be learning about the rest of my life. I don't think I'll ever be an expert gardener. I feel like I'll always feel like a novice, but I hope to continue to expand and learn. And then we also are interested in beekeeping, which we're gonna dive into more on that soon. And I also love to, no one really uses this term, but butterfly keeping. We have so much native milkweed, so I love to watch the metamorphosis process. I feel like it's so symbolic and inspiring. So absolutely want to keep doing that as well. I'm not going to just abandon the butterflies now that we're also interested in beekeeping. Okay, now for work. This is the next category out of our 3 categories. Something that for me, since this is a more creative role, creative job, I feel like it's so important for me to stay rooted in inspiration and try to always maintain a balance of trying to create meaningful and hopefully beautiful content, while also just staying inspired and not ever overdoing it or forcing anything. So that's something that I feel like will be a dream and goal for every single year. And I'd love to focus more on crafting and making handmade items and pieces. I feel like this is just one of the aspects of my work that I just absolutely love and enjoy more than anything, just sharing DIY ideas, especially for the seasons and all of that. So absolutely want to focus more energy on that. And another dream that could bleed into every aspect of our life is maintaining our rest day, Sabbath, if you will. So essentially, we try to be pretty adamant about taking a full day off every single week, which can sound quite daunting, or maybe you feel like, oh, well, that's what the weekends are for, like you rest on the weekends. But it's being especially intentional about rest. So we sort of like made this outline and rules for ourselves. So Saturday is typically when we take our rest day. So I'll try to not go on social media or do laundry or do any like major household tasks and stuff, so that we can fully try to rest and enjoy and recharge. So this has been something we implemented, I believe 3 years ago at this point, and it has been such a life-giving aspect of our weekly routine, and it has been really, really amazing. So highly recommend if you're able to implement something like this, or even if it's just an afternoon where you completely unplug and try to recharge and do stuff that fuels you, whether it's spending time with others, reading a book, just relaxing outside, whatever it may be. I feel like it's so important to try to nurture and rest, which can be so counterculture to what we're used to. So definitely want to maintain that. And then another thing, just I want to continue to nurture contentment. That has been something I've been really grateful for when it comes to work. I feel like I'm just so content and thankful for my job and my role and what I'm able to do. I feel like it's just been such a beautiful part of my life, and that is not lost on me, that, you know, to be able to enjoy and really love your job is a gift. And in our culture, I feel like it's a rarity as well. So I try to be especially grateful, and I always want to remain content with what I do while also trying to be inspired. So that's what we have for work. And then for personal, something else that I want to continue to sustain, maintain, and nurture is a peaceful presence. I just, you know, with all of the stressors of our world and just the anxiety-provoking aspects, it's easy to fall in just like a panicky and sort of anxious state. So I have really just tried to, I feel like all of these habits really build a peaceful presence. Even the rest day, that really helps me feel more peaceful. So that is absolutely something I want to continue to strive for and maintain. And I also want to continue having slow moments in the sun. So something I really love to do is eat breakfast outside or go on a walk, anything to just spend time outdoors and in the sun. I feel like is really life-giving and positively impacts my day. And then lastly, the biggest one of all, of course, is to grow in my faith and trust in God and continue to just believe and follow his plan and just see his goodness, again, even through times of trials and when I feel sorrow, just trying to focus on the beauty and blessings that we have. I actually saw this quote earlier this morning that I wanted to share. What I was just talking about kind of reminded me of it. It says, "The more I seek him, the more I notice flowers landing next to my feet. birds singing outside my window, all love letters from God who knows no coincidence. I feel like that is so beautiful. That's another thing I've just been enjoying lately, is just finding coincidences or finding just beautiful little ways that either people are tied together or just moments are tied together. It just makes life seem more special and beautiful. So cheers to continuing that. And then another fun thing I wanted to run through with you all that I plan to do with my friends soon, probably next week, is an ins and outs list. So this is something I've been seeing a lot online, but essentially you make a in list where you put all the things that you want to do, and then you make an out list of all the things you want to stop doing. So I started making mine. I have a lot of ins. So these vary from more like extravagant things to more frivolous things that are just fun and sort of elevate your life, make your life feel more chic or just special. So let me share all of my ins. I'll put them on the screen too so you can see them. Ins: pillow mist on your bed before falling asleep. I started doing this in November because we went away for a little birthday trip for me, and we got this pillow mist from the hotel we were staying at, and it smells divine. And just spraying that on my pillow every night before bed, again, it just makes me feel so chic and makes going to bed feel more special. So I want to do that. Reading, writing poetry. I'm a big fan of poetry. I sort of dabbled writing some last year, but I want to try to stretch my mind and do that a bit more this year. Be in butterfly keeping, sunrise, sunset, friendship dates. This is such an underrated way to spend time with your friends, whether it's waking up early to go see the sunrise. I feel like that works out nicely, especially if you work a 9-to-5 job. You can have some friendship time even before work. And even though it might seem a little daunting to wake up that early, every single time it's worth it just to enjoy a cup of coffee or tea with your friends, watch the sunrise. Such an inspiring way to spend the morning and start the day. Or you could do the sunset, of course. Lip gloss, always. I just love to have a lip gloss in my purse, in my car. I just feel like it's nice, especially this time of year when it's a little cold. Just hydrate your lips and it feels chic and fabulous. Okay, next we have casual plans with friends after work. Already dove into that. I feel like that needed a bit more explanation, so I wanted to share that earlier. Clothing rental thrifting. I've been loving Nuuly, which is a clothing rental service. I've been doing it for probably 6 or 7 months now, and it has been fabulous, just even for special occasion dresses, but they also have more casual wear, which I appreciate. And I just feel like this is, of course, a more sustainable way to shop, but also it's just really exciting and helpful for different events and stuff. And then thrifting, of course, I always enjoy. Mocktails while cooking dinner. I love to make a fun little drink or have kombucha in a wine glass while I'm cooking. It just elevates the whole experience. Crafting at least once a week. Reformer Pilates. I've really been enjoying Pilates. Listening to 1950s records. There's something about 1950s music, especially while you're eating dinner or cooking with your fun little mocktail. It's just a great experience. Slow breakfast in the sun, live music, weekly rest days, incense, and journaling outside under the stars. I did this a few nights last year, and I definitely want to try to incorporate this more in my schedule because it's just a fabulous way to spend the evening. Handmade gifts, giggling. This one sounds silly, but I just love laughing and laughing and laughing with my friends. It's just so fun. I feel like especially before bed or like later in the evening, I just get so giggly, and I know I'm not the only one. I know a lot of you can relate to this, and I just want to indulge myself in that more and more. It's so fun to laugh, and just enhances your health, your life, your friendships. So just having little giggly talks is something I want to do more of. Reading while waiting in line instead of scrolling on your phone. I want to have a book in my purse at all times. So when I'm waiting in the checkout line or I'm waiting to meet someone, I just have my book out and I'm reading instead of just scrolling on my phone. I love that idea. Appreciating the moon phases. I learned a bit more about the moon this year, and it's just so incredibly fascinating. So I want to continue to learn and how it affects the tides. It is just mind-blowing. So it's something I want to learn about more. sipping on tea while you read before bed. This is one of Brandon and I's favorite ways to connect every day. Try to meet in bed with our tea and our book. It is incredibly cozy and just a highlight of the day. So want to continue doing that. Oh, I like this one. Fresh baked goods on the counter for afternoon snacks. So I don't have a cake stand with a cover on it, so maybe I can invest in one of those. But I love the idea of having fresh baked cookies or scones, whatever it may be, on your kitchen countertop, and you can just pop one out when you're needing a snack, or when people come over, you can offer them a freshly baked treat. That just sounds so lovely. And then lastly, quilts. I just feel like quilts are so cute, whether it's a quilted jacket, a quilted blanket for your bed. I absolutely love the look of them. Okay, now outs, we have constant scrolling, especially morning and night. I feel like this is one we can almost probably always agree on, because I don't know, sometimes I love scrolling and I find inspiration in funny videos and inspiring videos, and it's great. But I feel like it's just so easy to fall into it and just spend way more time than you anticipated scrolling. And this is something I'm always working on, especially as social media continues to evolve and expand. It's ever changing. I feel like it's helpful to just sort of put limits on yourself and really be intentional with your time. Processed sugar, excessive shopping, afternoon caffeine. This is one that I'm just I'm hesitant about, because I love an afternoon latte, and we absolutely will still do that. But I think just where it's such a part of my schedule where I rely on it and I'll get a headache if I don't, or I'll be really grumpy and tired, I think that's what I'm striving for, is to just not have so much reliance on my afternoon caffeine. Overanalyzing, so whether that's content I'm putting out or interactions with others, I just don't want to overanalyze. I don't want to spend so much time overthinking. I always want to be intentional and try to make sure I'm acting in a way I'm proud of, but there's really no sense in overanalyzing and just tiring your mind with those sort of thoughts. Being stressed or overwhelmed before hosting, this is something I want to work on. So whether it's being more organized so I can prep stuff beforehand, or just letting go of trying to make everything perfect before people come over to my home, I feel like that is something that I can work on. So that is out. We're gonna stop that this year. Feeling guilty about rest. This is a big one, especially if you want to implement your full rest day. Sometimes I think of all of the things on my list that I could be getting done, but just really trying to combat those thoughts and see the value in rest, and just know that it'll be so much more rewarding to completely rest and not worry about what you could be doing instead. Sugary drinks. This sort of goes with my afternoon lattes. I feel like a lot of times I'll sort of crave the caffeine, but also sugar in the afternoon. So just trying to eliminate that and maybe make those fun juice mocktails, which also have sugar, but a little less and more natural sugar. And lastly, artificial fragrance. It's difficult because I love me some candles. I love a nice perfume, but I don't think it's the most healthful thing for me. And sometimes it can be a bit, I don't know, it can give me a headache and stuff. So we're gonna try to opt for those natural fragrances and those just more soft scents. I think that's what we're going for. But I thought that was a fun idea, just to have an ins and outs list along with your 2024 dreams and intentions. But I really do hope and pray that you all have a beautiful year, and I hope that you enjoyed this video. I really am looking forward to all the adventures and memories that will make this upcoming year. And again, I just want to thank you for the support and kindness. I've been on the verge of crying this whole video, but I know, like, for one, pursuing motherhood again can seem a bit trepidatious for me. So just having the support and kindness and just encouragement has meant the world. And again, that I'm able to do this and I have so many people who care about my life and care about what's going on is not lost on me. And I really just am so incredibly grateful, and I cannot say that enough. So Thank you, thank you, thank you. Again, I hope you have a beautiful year. I'm cheering you on as well. If you have any ideas or dreams that you want to leave in the comment section, I would absolutely love to read them. If you feel open and willing to share, I'd love to cheer you on and see what you're hoping for this year. But cheers to 2024. I love and appreciate you all, and I'm excited to see you next. Bye.